make sure I start by welcoming all of you to the Hall of Fame. I appreciate you coming by on USTA Day. My name is Todd Martin, CEO of the Hall of Fame. As part of my role there, here, I'm also the tournament director. But it's my pleasure to be able to introduce all of you, all of you to Martin Redlicki and Evan Zhu, both young Americans and also the current, and at least current for another 11 months, NCAA doubles champions out of the University of California, Los Angeles.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think you chose the best school, but congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a massive accomplishment. You should be really proud of yourselves. I think I'd like to start there. I'm a former collegiate athlete, and I'd love to hear a little bit about your experiences at UCLA. Now, Evan, you're a rising junior.
Rising junior.
And Martin, you just graduated with a
Double major in
Yeah.
communications and political science.
Okay, you can flaunt that all you want.
Not the best major either.
Martin, why don't you tell us a little bit about your college experience? You guys, UCLA is a storied program of excellence, but you enjoyed a lot of that success over these last few years.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely had a great career at UCLA that's seen a good bit of success, I would say. And I mean, that's just, I think, in part to just everyone that made it possible, like my parents for getting me into tennis and just starting from a very young age and kind of building, working my way up. I moved to Florida when I was 15 from Chicago to train full-time, did high school online. So that was a huge sacrifice, and I was able to get my tennis to a point where I got scholarship offered to a school like UCLA, and I think the coaches there, the staff there, just everyone just made being successful, gave me a really good path to being successful.
And Evan, how did you go find your way to UCLA?
I actually grew up in Delaware, so it wasn't really like
Newark guy.
Oh, I'm from Newark. Delaware. But we
Wait a
moved.
second, I thought you were from LA, and now you're from Texas, but you're actually from Delaware?
I grew up in Delaware. I trained in Maryland at College Park for like from when I was 12 to 16, and then moved to California, lived in Irvine, trained with Taylor Den. And then he moved to Texas, so I also moved to Texas as well. So a little bit of everything.
So tell us about the recruiting process to get to UCLA.
I actually met Grant and Billy through Nick Meister, I believe. Yeah, Nick Meister it was some like future wild card tournament, and then Nick introduced me to Grant, and then from there it was.
And that was when you were 12 and he violated how many recruiting rules?
We don't talk about that.
So Grant Chen is actually now, within the last month, the former assistant coach at UCLA for the men's team, is now the head men's tennis coach at SMU. Congratulations. Student athlete is a term that's used quite often. Not always justly so. I think in the major team sports, sometimes I think the student athlete is more athlete than student. In some ways, I would almost suggest that you all were more athlete student through high school, the way you did high school, but you can't get away with that in college, and especially in order to double major. Tell us a little bit about the balancing act between the academic workload, which is obviously a year-long sport like tennis in college.
Yeah, it can get really tough at times. There's a story I like to tell people when they ask me about that. When I was at the end of my freshman year, I was taking an English class that was mandatory for freshmen, and one of my teammates the year before, when he was a freshman, walked into that same class with a different professor, and the professor said, I'm sorry, I don't care that you're an athlete. If you miss 2 classes, I'm gonna fail you. So he couldn't take it and he didn't know what to do. And then I went in the following year with a different professor, and she told me, not a problem, we'll work around it. So there's some professors that give you help and some that don't, but as far as the practice, the fitness, the classes, school, and all that, you really have to know how to prioritize your work, how to get things done, and really be on top of what you need to be on top of.
And Evan, give us an example. I know every day is different in college, but give us an example of what the most standard day for you is. Because you are going back as a junior, correct?
Yeah, I mean,
So I'll call Billy Martin now and tell him.
I'm thinking about it, but still thinking about it. But a standard day, I think, starts with it starts with fitness from 8 to 9 in the gym, and then I'd say like 9 to 10:15 class, another class from like say 11:30
to 12:15.
Yeah, 11:30, 12:15. Go grab lunch, possibly another class, or you have some like a little bit of break, and then practice from 2 to 4:30, and then
after that, you either have a class at night, or you go get some dinner, get some food, and then you're studying, you're doing your homework on top of all the other stuff you did all day. So it's a lot.
Yeah, and how many hours are you allowed per week with your team and with your coach? There's pretty strict rules.
20 hours, I think. Maximum, 4 hours max a day. So, I mean, they can't keep you out there for 8 hours, but, I mean, 4 hours is a good chunk, and it's still, like, a lot of time committed.
And Martin, you're quite tall. Evan, you're pretty tall. How much have you grown since you've been in college?
I went into college pretty much at the same height. I think I got a little stronger. I worked on like my fitness, my movement, my overall physicality, which I think has gotten a lot better over my 4 years. So as far as height's concerned, I mean, that hasn't changed, but the more physical aspect, I would say has, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons to go to college, is because the resources available to you are world class. The training facilities, the fitness facilities, the trainers, the coaches, just everything you have at your disposal is world class, and that's an opportunity I think a lot of people should think to take advantage of if they have the chance.
yeah, maybe an inch or two I grew, but I think I definitely helped me get stronger. I'm still a little scrawny, scrawnier than I'd like to be, but it definitely helped me get stronger, as Marty said, like the world-class facilities, resources. So.
And so your team, what did you guys end up this year, ranked nationally?
We ended the year number 3. I mean, we got as high as number 2. I don't think we ever hit number 1, but we were very close on one occasion because the way the college rankings works, it's based on an average. And I think number 1 Wake Forest had an average of like 71.6, and we had an average of 71.4. So, I mean, literally 0.2 of a percentage point behind the number 1 team. So we were definitely knocking on the door, and we had made a good run at the NCAA tournament, came up a little short in the semis against Ohio State, but overall, a lot of success. A lot of guys stepped up for us, and we had a great year.
What did you play in the singles line?
I played number 2 for most of the season.
I played number 1.
Okay. And that's not very common, actually, for the 1 and 2 singles players to play doubles together.
That is true. I mean, usually, not usually, but sometimes the way it goes is that the stronger doubles players are stronger at doubles, maybe not as strong as singles, and vice versa. So, like you said, it's not exactly common to have your number 1 and number 2 singles players playing number 1 doubles together. But I mean, clearly we had some success and it worked for us. So I think it was a really good situation.
When did you all start playing? You just finished your sophomore year. Did you play the first 2 years?
Yeah, we played my freshman year as well, and started the first dual match together.
Yeah, it was Evan decided to take the fall off his freshman year, and during the fall, that's usually when you kind of experiment with doubles teams with the freshmen, the new guys coming in, and because Evan took the fall off, he wasn't there for that process. So we our first tournament at the beginning of the year in January, I played with one of my other teammates, and Evan played with another teammate. We both lost everything there was to lose. And then Billy, our coach, said, yeah, that's probably not going to work. The very next time we played together, and I mean, ever since we've had a lot of success. So pretty much from the first match we played, the chemistry was there, and we worked well together.
Now you're a righty-lefty combination. How do you match up? Who plays the ad court and who plays the deuce court?
I play the ad court, Evan plays the deuce court.
And what about the Bryans? What do they do?
I think they flip it. I'm pretty sure they flip it, but yeah, they're the other way.
Not always. Years ago, I think they were the opposite. They played the same way as you do. But now Mike just won Wimbledon, playing from the deuce court. I think that's right.
Oh,
It's pretty. It's
We
something
saw.
else. So, what do you guys
We
like?
saw.
Doubles or singles? more?
double with salt. That's right.
Go ahead.
I mean,
You can answer. Wait, you can answer confidentially, so like, you don't get exposed.
I try to focus more on singles, but I think doubles is like more enjoyable just because you have a partner out there with you and you guys can talk and stuff.
And I would say, especially in the college setting where you play doubles first and you only play one set of no ad doubles, it's super fast paced. Anything can happen. Any team can beat any team on any given day. And I think that to decide the almost always crucial doubles point in a tight duel match, I think the pressure and all that stuff, I think it's just more exciting, and I think it's a lot of fun for the players and everyone watching.
So you like the short format of doubles and
I mean, I
college,
like
and
it when
also
we're winning.
first.
I like it when we're winning. When we're losing, I don't like it so much. But I think overall, I mean, you take your wins with your losses, and I think overall it's good because it is more exciting. I mean, anything can happen. Like, we can come out against a weaker team and lose. We can come out against a stronger team and win. It's just anything can happen.
Well, there are no stronger teams in college tennis, so right? I mean, you are the best.
On paper, I guess you can say that, but in the NCAA tournament, we definitely had more than our fair share of adversity and more than our fair share of sticky situations. So,
And who got you through those sticky situations? Was it all Evan?
I mean, it's always been all Evan. So,
I'd say
It's his world. You're renting space. That's good. So tell us a little bit about. You would have been a member of a national championship team, right? At some point in time in your no. Okay. I thought you had. Sorry.
National. Oh, and individually, I thought you meant as a team. Yes, I'm sorry. 2 years ago, I won the doubles as well with Mackenzie McDonald.
Okay.
Sorry, sorry.
That's Mackie
Mackenzie
McDonald,
McDonald.
who also won the singles that year as well.
Mackenzie McDonald?
How did you guys do in the team event that year?
That year,
It's not in New York?
we lost in the quarterfinals, 4-3. Came down to the deciding match. I mean, I think tight in the third set. We lost to eventual finalist Oklahoma, and that was actually the third year in a row that UCLA had lost to Oklahoma at the NCAA tournament. So we were kind of hoping that third time would be the charm, but just came up a little short.
So Mackie just was in the
Wimbledon,
fourth round of Wimbledon, right?
he was.
He was supposed to come here, and he called and said, "No, thank you." He said, "I'm too cool for school now."
Is he?
Do you have his number?
I do.
You want to text him something for me?
Sure.
All right, tell him next year he better come.
I will definitely tell him.
Oh, Mackenzie McDonald?
No, but Mackie McDonald's one of the great kids in tennis, period. Joking aside, tell us a little bit about your NCAA tournament experience and those sticky points that you touched on.
So I think our championship match pretty much encapsulates what the entire week looked like. In the first set in the finals, we were neck and neck holding serve the whole time. In the first set tiebreaker, we went down 5-0, went up 6-5 for set point, and we lost 8-6. Then in the second set, we got broken for 4-2, broke back for 4-3. Then in the tiebreaker went up, then went down, and then ended up winning it. And then in the third set tiebreaker, we went up 8-5, went down 9-8 championship point, and then ended up winning 11-9. So it's literally on 9-8 championship point for the other team. We played a tight point. Evan hit a forehand winner down the middle that clipped the baseline by half an inch. And then at 9-all, I hit a forehand down the line that clipped the line by half an inch. So half an inch more and we'd be finalists. Like I don't know if I'd be sitting here today.
So Evan, your response is you would have never had a chance to hit that forehand winner if it weren't for my forehand winner.
That is true.
Exactly.
Now, obviously you guys were both great junior tennis players, but would you have anticipated something like this just a couple of years ago, being one, NCAA, the double champion, and two, having the opportunity to get wild cards in the ATP event?
I definitely would not have thought that would have happened. I mean, you always work hard, have goals and stuff, but to actually have that